Most epoxy contractors who hit a wall don't fail because they can't install a floor. They fail because business finally booked up, they became the bottleneck, and to them, their fix for that was hiring a salesperson. I already made a video on why that hire usually costs you $50,000 or more and doesn't even fix anything. This one's the other half. Getting it wrong is just as expensive as not doing it at all. And here's a pattern I see over and over in this niche. A contractor gets 20 to 30K a month. He's installing all day, quoting at night, and follow up happens whenever he remembers. He knows he needs help, so he hires a sales rep to close more jobs, right? But he doesn't have a sales problem. He has a first contact problem. Leads sit for hours before anyone responds, quotes go out, and nobody calls to close the loop. Deposits get forgotten. None of that gets fixed by a salesperson because the salesperson isn't there for the moment a lead comes in or the moment a quote's been sitting for 4 days with no follow up, right? That's an admin's job. And most contractors have never actually defined what that job is before they even try to hire for it. So, what is the role actually? An admin is the person who owns the inbox and the pipeline, full stop. First contact on all new leads, sorting and qualifying, booking the on site, routing follow up to the sales team on quotes, chasing deposits, keeping the pipeline accurate so that way you can trust the numbers that are inside of that pipeline. But here's what they don't do, and this matters just as much as what they do. They never quote on a job, they never go on site, and they never negotiate pricing for jobs over the phone. Those things stay with the owner. The moment that an admin starts quoting or negotiating, you've turned them into a second version of yourself instead of the person who's actually protecting your time. Getting that line clear before you hire is actually half of the job, which is your job, right? Most failed admin hires, they're not a bad fit problem. It's that nobody defined the job for them problem, right? So when we're looking at that job, what does a good job actually look like? Here's the real bar, and it's specific enough that you can actually test for it. We're looking at response time, accuracy, and cost. So with response time, that needs to be under 3 minutes on a new lead. That's the standard. 5 minutes is fine, but past 10 minutes, you're already looking at losing leads to other competitors, right? When you're talking about accuracy, when your admin tells you that a lead is handled, you want to know, is it actually handled? Somewhere around 80 to 100% accuracy on this job is trainable. Like you can coach it up, you can help them figure it out, right? If they're below 80%, that's not a training problem anymore. That's a fit problem, and no amount of coaching is going to fix that. So you might be asking, how much does it cost to hire an admin? A US based admin is going to run $15 to $20 an hour. An international VA is going to run about $5 to $12 an hour. And either one of those can work. This isn't a 40-hour role, at least not at the start. Real active work is 1 to 1.5 hours a day, 5 to 7 hours a week total, inside of a window like 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. when the leads are actually coming in and available to talk, right? If you're paying for a full-time person to do 6 hours a week worth of work, that's a budget problem that you built yourself. These are the two ways that I see these things go wrong, right? I've watched this fail in two different ways, and they're kind of opposite mistakes. One is called abdication and one is called puppeteering. Abdication is when you hand somebody the CRM, you give them zero training, and you just hope that they're going to figure it out, right? No script, no standard, no rules, no metrics, no idea of what a good day looks like. They fill in the time with whatever they feel is productive. And 3 weeks later, nothing's actually moving through the pipeline any faster than when it was just you. Now, puppeteering is when you have trained them, but you don't trust it. So you're texting them all of the words that they need to say on every single call. And that's not delegation. That's just you doing the job through somebody else's phone. It doesn't buy back any of your time, and it burns out the person that you hired. I've seen a client with the best floors in my entire portfolio running my automation system nearly stall out because the leads were sitting there for almost 2 days without anyone calling them back, right? The system did fire exactly the way it was supposed to, caught them, texted them, emailed them. The problem is that nobody was watching the actual inbox, and that's not a technology problem. That's just a hiring problem. The fix is not to just deploy more automations. The fix is to hire a real person and get them the job and make sure that that job is clearly defined for them. And then you check their work against those numbers, not just how you feel. So here's the actual test that I'd put in front of you. Could you take 4 weeks off right now and have new leads still get answered inside of 5 minutes, on-sites get booked, and quotes still get followed up on? If the answer is no, you do not have an admin, you have a job that you haven't handed off yet, and you're probably not doing that job in exchange for doing floors and sales, and calling it a hire doesn't make it one. Most contractors in this niche never build that seat at all. The ones who do stop being the bottleneck that their own business is running into. If you're not sure whether your business could survive by you stepping away for a few weeks, that's worth an honest look before you hire anybody, right? We do run a free revenue leak audit for established epoxy contractors and concrete coating contractors. 15 minutes, and it'll show you exactly where the gap is in your leads, your follow-up, or exactly this, like an owner doing a job that should already belong to somebody else. I'm going to put that link in the description. If this was useful, make sure that you subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.